Michael P. Coleman, content director and lead writer for Brother Be Well. Today, we're talking about youth who are experiencing homelessness and mental health. And we've got a great panel to talk with about that topic. We're going to chat with a few folks about that. First of all, we've got Julio Cruz. He's an integrated behavioral health specialist and a Brother Be Well clinical advisor. Julio, how's it going today?
Really good. Thank you for having me, Michael.
Really good to see you again. Good to have you. Next up, we've got Aron King. He's a registered nurse and he's the secretary of the Capital City Black Nurses Association. Aron, what's up?
Hey, Mike. Hi. Thanks for having me.
Always good to see you, Aron. Always good to have that smile as a part of these broadcasts, Aron. And also, we've got a first-time guest to us here at Brother Be Well. We got Ted Ngatia. He's affiliated with the California Coalition for Youth. He's a young man who's currently living in transitional housing in Los Angeles. Ted, how's it going today?
I'm good, and you? Just enjoying the day. It's been a bit crazy, but in a good way. So it's going well.
Well, crazy in a good way is a good thing. It's good to have you here. Really welcome to Brother Be Well. We appreciate it.
Thank you. Yeah.
Let's get right down to business. We got a few questions and a lot to talk about today. Studies consistently report high levels of mental health disorders among youth experiencing homelessness. Those disorders include depression, fear-driven anxiety, excessive worry, sleeplessness, trauma, substance abuse, PTSD, and dissociative behavior. Youth of color, I'm very sorry to say, are overrepresented among young people who are experiencing homelessness. You know, I might have just answered this question myself, but I want to dig into it with you. Why is it so important that we here at Brother Be Well talk about this topic today? Maybe Julio, you could take that one.
Absolutely. I think that it is very important because sometimes we try to see homelessness as an isolated thing that is happening to somebody. And as people of color, we already come with a need for more access to mental health. So, and also because of historical trauma and social experiences, we already have an array of things that we need to work on, right? So when you compile that with the homelessness, that is just like adding fuel to the fire. So we need to address it with a holistic approach to what it means to be homeless, what it means to be a person of color, and what is the history that comes with that person.
Yeah, very important. You know, youth experiencing homelessness often exhibit multi-diagnoses, as we know, mental health combined with substance abuse, for example, which can it can equate rather to self-medication. I'm wondering what's behind that connection, first of all. And for you, Ted, I'm wondering if you have ever experienced co-occurring disorders as you are managing a situation where you have found yourself homeless.
I mean, definitely, I understand where you're coming from. I think that self-medication kind of comes from, not really knowing how to ask for help. I know that, like last year especially was particularly challenging. At some point last year, I actually was homeless, at least for a week. But some of the steps I've taken are, I think, lucky enough for me, I was able, based off of my past experiences, to kind of learn a little more how to ask for help. So like I was seeing a therapist almost every week for a year, almost a year. I've been doing a lot of, just very technical, like breathing exercises, mental and emotional health counseling, a lot of especially emotional counseling, like on a day-to-day basis, whether it's journaling or listening to self, reassuring, just discussions, reading quotes and things like that. So it's like a combination of all these different things. That's how I self-medicated. I met some people who, unfortunately, they weren't able to get on a path that did work for them. I mean, I've met some, but not too many, where some did turn to certain drugs and some alcohol, and they're still battling it until now because they're still experiencing in and out of homelessness. So it's kind of like this unfortunate, like toxic cycle. But for me, that's been some of the biggest ways that I coped, especially over the past year.
We were just saying before this conversation, Ted, how brave it is, I think, of people like you to be so willing to tell your own story and talk about your journey. So I really want to thank you for that. Really appreciate you being here. Let's get at guys, the physiological effects of this variety of first mental health disorders. We're going to talk about the physical in a second, but let's talk about the physiological effects of homelessness. We know that homelessness leading to sleeplessness, for instance, can set up a whole other set of problems. But let's talk about those physiological effects of finding yourself homeless. Aron, maybe you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah. So I think if you think of overall of being homeless and the stress related to that, you're constantly in that fight or flight stage, right? And so that in fight or flight, when you're increased stress and a threat, you're going to have increased blood pressure. You're going to have increased release of cortisol that helps with alertness. And then your liver is just working to break down glucagon, which is where we get our sugar, our glucose from. So if you think about that high blood pressure, high glucose, what are, the communities of color high at risk for, right? They're diabetes, high blood pressure, heart disease. And so the stress really does help deteriorate that. It's just a combination of two. It literally just makes things worse. We're already at a higher prevalence of diabetes and blood pressure, and then you add that added stress, and that's where you're going to start seeing people come in with DKA, which is when your blood sugar is really high as a diabetic, or even hypertensive crisis where your blood pressure is just out of control.
Wow.